In the distant future, humanity had conquered the stars. Advanced technology allowed them to build enormous space cities and travel beyond the edges of the known universe. The Earth was a distant memory, a blue dot in the vast expanse of space, now overshadowed by colossal cities orbiting around dying stars. Among these was the Arcadia system, a cluster of planets settled by humans hundreds of years ago. It was called it the Shatter, a cosmic event that took place to where anything was possible. It was a thriving hub of intergalactic trade, science, and exploration. Then, without warning, everything changed. One day, the sky above Arcadia darkened. Massive ripples of energy tore through space like waves on the ocean, shaking entire planets to their core. Communications between galaxies went silent, and thousands of ships vanished without a trace. Scientists called it the Shatter, a cosmic event that twisted the fabric of space-time, splitting reality into fragments. No one knew what caused it, but the aftermath was catastrophic. Entire planets became uninhabitable, and what was once a bright and bustling civilization became a shadow of its former glory. The story begins with Captain Lena Cross, a former pilot for the Intergalactic Defense Fleet. She had witnessed the shadow firsthand, losing her crew in the chaotic storm that swept through the galaxy. Haunted by the past and desperate for answers, she became a rogue explorer, traveling from one broken world to another, searching for clues about what had caused the catastrophe. Lena's journey led her to the edge of the known zone, a place few dared to go. She had heard whispers of strange signals coming from a place known as the Ruin, an abandoned sector of space, said to be the heart of the Shatter. Ignoring the warnings of old colleagues and the fear of becoming another lost ship in the void, she pushed forward, guided by a faint, repeating signal that no one else seemed to notice. She arrived at a planet called Helion, a world that had been torn apart, its surface cracked open like a broken egg. What remained was a landscape of floating rock formations, suspended in midair, with rivers of molten metal cascading down the sides. The atmosphere was unstable, shimmering with waves of heat and radiation. Lena's ship, the Starfire, hovered in the orbit of Helion as she ran scans, trying to pinpoint the source of the signal. It was erratic, almost as if it was being jammed or hidden. Suddenly, the signal became clear. It wasn't just noise, it was a message, a voice. The tone was distorted, filled with static, but Lena could make out the words. Help us, they are coming. And in silence, her ship's systems went haywire, lights flickering, alarms blaring. The gravitational pull of Helion was shifting, dragging the Starfire toward the surface. Lena barely managed to regain control, fighting with the manual thrusters to keep from crashing. She needed to know who had sent that message, but there was something else, a sense of urgency, a warning in the voice that sent chills down her spine. Ignoring the danger, Lena put on her suit and took a small shuttle down to the planet's surface, following the signal's coordinates. She landed near what appeared to be a research facility, a massive abandoned structure half buried in the cracked landscape. The entrance was sealed, but her tools quickly cut through the corroded metal. As she entered, the air was stale and silent. The power was out, yet there was an odd hum in the walls. She felt watched, though her scanners showed nothing but emptiness. Inside, Lena discovered that the facility had been a top-secret research lab operated by the Orion Consortium, the largest scientific organization before the Shatter. Old data logs spoke of experiments with dimensional energy, a power source beyond anything humanity had ever known. The logs ended abruptly, the last entry mentioning a test gone wrong. But Lena's attention was drawn to a massive chamber, sealed by multiple locks. It seemed to be a vault of some kind, containing something the researchers had desperately tried to hide. With careful precision, she bypassed the security, only to find nothing. The chamber was empty, except for a strange black sphere floating in the center. It was cold to the touch, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. As Lena reached out, a vision flashed before her eyes. A city she didn't recognize, engulfed in flames, with dark figures moving through the chaos. She pulled her hand back, heart racing, but the vision lingered. Just then, the facility's emergency systems came online. Lights blazed to life, and the computer activated, speaking in a calm, mechanical voice. Warning, breach detected. They are here. Lena froze as the ground began to tremble, and the doors she had come through sealed shut with a deafening clang. Red lights flashed, and the sound of mechanical movement echoed through the halls. The black sphere pulsed, and suddenly, Lena was no longer alone. Dark, shadow-like figures appeared, stepping out of the walls, their forms shifting like living smoke. Lena fired her weapon, but it passed right through them. They were not physical beings, more like echoes of something that had once been alive. In the chaos, Lena grabbed a sphere and ran, driven by instinct. She needed to get out before whatever was happening consumed her too. In a desperate escape, she found an old escape pod, barely functional, and launched it back to her ship. As she ascended, she saw the facility crumble and collapse, swallowed by the unstable landscape of Helion. The spear in her hands pulsed again, and she knew it was the key, the answer to everything. Back aboard the Starfire, Lena analyzed the spear, discovering that it was a data storage device, a black box containing encrypted files from the Orion Consortium. As she cracked the encryption, she learned the truth. The Shatter was no accident. It was the result of an experiment to access a parallel universe. The researchers had succeeded, but unleashed something they could not control, a presence from the other side, drawn to their dimension. They had tried to contain it, to stop it, but the damage was already done. The message Lena had heard wasn't from the past. It was a warning from the future. The voice belonged to her, a future version of herself, trying to warn her not to repeat the same mistakes. But it was too late. Suddenly, a fleet of ships appeared on the radar, an unknown force unlike any human technology. Lena's ship was surrounded, trapped, and the figures from the vision were real, boarding her ship without resistance. Lena clutched the sphere, and in a final desperate act, she activated it. Light burst forth, enveloping everything in a blinding glow. When the light faded, Lena found herself in orbit around Earth, the real Earth, not a simulation or memory. The sky was clear, and there were no signs of destruction. It was as if the shatter had never happened. Confused and disoriented, she looked at the sphere, which had now gone dark. It had reset time, undone the events that led to the broken galaxies. But Lena knew the truth. She was the only one who remembered the shattered future. And as she looked up at the stars, she heard the voice again. The same words, echoing across the vastness of space. Help. Lena. Lena. Lena took a deep breath, staring at the endless possibilities ahead. She knew the cycle had not ended. It had only begun. She set a new course for the Arcadia system, determined to stop the catastrophe before it began. The galaxy was still broken, even if no one else could see it. And somewhere, in the depths of space, the darkness was waiting.